Thank you, everybody, for being here this morning. And we're kind of pressed for time, so we appreciate it. But we wanted to come together in unison, the Assembly and the Senate. And I think this is probably the optimal approach for us moving forward and for the public to be able to find out in the quickest fashion of anything with public safety and abuse of power. It's very important for us to move in unison together. I want to thank Senate President Sweeney for his leadership and negotiating with us to make sure that we come with something of an agreement that makes the best sense of moving forward with one council. I think this is a good day for the legislature. We're on the same page. You can't, an iron worker and a plumber can get together and resolve things together. So I think it's a good day for the State House. I'm going to let the Senate President say a few words.
Thanks. And I want to thank the Speaker because we need to move forward in a unified way to get to the bottom of these issues that are seemingly growing by the minute. And the Assembly has hired an outstanding legal counsel that we were very happy to work with. So again, this was two houses negotiating a bringing of the two committees together. They'll be reshaped in order to fit the Assembly's size of 12. And we will be announcing that when we're doing the resolutions. We haven't figured out how soon, but that'll be coming soon. But the good news is it's going to be one committee working together. Assemblyman Wisniewski and Senator Weinberg have done a phenomenal job working together behind the scenes. So this is just a natural. So, Loretta, here, let me get your.
Somebody remembered today.
Yes. Thank you. Now I'm really tall. Wow.
No.
Well, I might need a slightly lower stool, but it's nice to see you, John. Thank you. I, too, am delighted. Assemblyman Wisniewski and I have worked together on this whole issue for about 3 months now, I would say. And I think our leadership with the Speaker and the Senate President have found a way to bring us together so that we operate in the most efficient, most fair process that is available to us. I had the occasion yesterday to be able to speak with the Assembly Counsel, who will hopefully now be the counsel for the Joint Committee. I was impressed with everything I heard, and I am anxious for us to move on with what is really important work on behalf of the residents of New Jersey. So again, I want to thank Speaker Prieto, my own Senate President, and to thank John Wisniewski, because I'm glad to be working again with him. We have, I think, a trust in each other and an ability to be the right two people to lead this investigation as we move forward. So thank you very much. I don't want to drop that again.
You don't need that.
I don't need that. Now, if I stand on that, I'll be very far away from the microphones. I want to first start by thanking both the Senate President and the Assembly Speaker. This process that we are announcing today has been many days in the works, and I'm glad that we were able to come to this agreement where we can bring both the Assembly and the Senate together to work for a common purpose in getting to the bottom of a very thorny question about abuse of power and an attempt to cover up that abuse of power. The ability for both houses to work cooperatively and share the resources of Reed Shar makes our work much more efficient and certainly eliminates any questions about two houses competing. There's no competition. We're working in unison. And I'm also glad, after so many months of an informal relationship with Senator Weinberg working hand in hand as the Assembly Transportation Committee followed the details step by step, that our relationship now is formalized as co-chairs of a select investigative committee that will work very hard and fairly to follow the information we have, to get answers to questions that vex us all, and to hopefully at one point be able to change the laws so we can make sure that this never happens again. Thank you all very much. I think we'll all be happy to take questions.
First of all, I would suppose folks on the other side of the aisle are going to look at this and say we're 35 minutes away from inauguration. respond to those who might say this is kind of a thumb in the eye to the governor.
No, it's, Senate President?
No, they're absolutely not true. In fact, the Speaker and I just concluded about 15 minutes before this press conference the final details of this. So this isn't a thumb in the eye to the governor. We're all going to go over there and witnesses swearing in. This is about the houses coming together, which clearly we wanted to do from the beginning. And it was just a way of finding a way to do it. We found that way, and I think it's important for the people of the state to know that both houses can and will work together in a very organized fashion to get this done.
Listen, if you think that you're mistaken, or anybody thinks that is mistaken, I would tell you, probably for a better soundbite, it would have been right after, but there's inclement weather coming also, so if you want to think of that, there's many scenarios you want to think. The answer is, this has been a process that we've been trying to get together on. It's not easy, everybody, the Senate has, its obligations, I have my obligations to our membership, and we have to get together. What neither house wanted to do was have a break in between. That's why we both proceeded in the way we did until we can get together, and now we can merge and make this the optimal committee to best suit the residents of the New Jersey.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the scope of the committee and a little bit more perhaps about the makeup as well?
Well, the makeup is going to be 12 members, tentatively scheduled to be 8 assembly members, 4 senators. I think the exact membership is still being discussed by the leaders of both houses. The scope of the investigation is going to continue to be the scope of the investigation that we started with the resolution that was adopted last week. Now it just will be a joint investigation as opposed to one house or the other. Yes?
Any of the discussion from and the accusations made by the mayor Kovokin, is this going to now become part of the investigation?
I think it's premature to get there. I mean, clearly she raises serious allegations. There's a lot of facts swirling about in terms of who said what when. The first order of business for this committee is to follow the information that we had to date, where we have somebody in the governor's office abusing power, and we see an attempt to cover up that abuse of power. We'll follow that trail wherever it leads, but we're not going to switch gears now and start following another investigation.
Sir, since the U.S. Attorney's Office met with the Hoboken mayor, is that kind of weighing into how you're going to handle that?
Well, certainly it's one of many considerations, and we're going to consult with our counsel to make sure that we're not crossing any jurisdictional lines.
Chairman, what were the sticking points in your negotiation, and how did you?
I can answer that. We're not going to tell you. This is Vinny and myself sitting down and just figuring it out. We knew what we wanted to do.
Correct.
And it was just making it come together. And we came together. We finalized it 15 minutes before, honestly, we got here.
And we actually talked even during Championship Sunday, so
Yes.
it's been a work in progress all along. So
We can take one question.
Can
We
you
gotta roll.
elaborate a little bit more on the reasons to combine? Is it efficiency, logistics, costs?
Honestly, for us, it's so you eliminate any possibility of going subpoenaing the same people, the duplication, and it's a much more of a streamlined process finishing up. And again, the two members here have done a great job, and now Loretta actually was in the background before. She'll be in the forefront with the investigation.
And it's a combination of all that. It's being mindful of the cost and how to streamline this. One special counsel, and then we have now the 2 co-chairs, because Loretta has been leading this. Go ahead.
Does this require another vote by the legislature?
Yes,
Yes,
When is that going to be?
we're working that
we're
out.
working that out.
Soon,
All right.
Loretta?
Will you have to reissue the subpoenas then?
No, council has assured us that
We
the
gotta let her
wording of the
finish.
resolution will allow us to continue forward with everything as issued.
We gotta let
You
Loretta
know,
chair.
my co-chair now, Assemblyman Wisniewski, just touched on a point of where we are in terms of the current investigation and the current subpoenas. We have a major question out there. Who ordered Bridget Kelly to issue her email and why? And we're looking forward to receiving documents. I think the first week in February or when the first group of documents are due, and we need to get answers to that as we move along on this road. I don't know what's going to be, where it's going to lead us, but I know we have a focus on where we started, and we need to get to it.
Senator,
We have to go, guys. We have to
Yeah.
go.
one last
We
question.
gotta go, guys.
Where
gotta get
will-
across
where will
the street.
allegations made by Hoboken's mayor, where will that fit into the investigation that you mentioned?
We already answered that. We gotta go, guys.